What's up, YouTube? We're gonna have a little discussion today. Today, I wanted to talk about the state of yo-yo contests. We've just basically finished up having our second annual East Coast Masters yo-yo contest right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, what we do differently at East Coast Masters versus lots of other yo-yo contests, and this is basically going to be the theme of the whole video, is the prizes are cash plus awesome yo-yos. I think, so Luke Troutwine, congrats to Luke, won the 1A East Coast Masters top prize. There was $250 in cash, plus I think there was a $50 Yo-Yo Expert gift certificate, plus yo-yos including a titanium prototype that Kai's been working on for a while. But there were other yo-yos in there as well. I know I put the bags together. So we were able to give out cash prizes to all the competitors, actually. Not all the competitors, but all the winners. So top three, both in 1A and X Division, took home cash plus yo-yos. It wasn't a ton of cash, but even the lowest cash prize I think was still like 40 bucks for like third place in in X Division. So even if, you know, it was $35 to register. So even if you only took third place in the least popular division, X Division had the least competitors this year at East Coast Masters, you still got more than your money back. That being said, we also had a lot of yo-yo vendors. I don't know if you've ever been to other yo-yo contests, but usually there's a vendor or two here. We kind of really try to make this out to be sort of like a convention, like a Comic-Con, sort of. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con, at Steel City Comic-Con here in Pittsburgh, actually they have it in Monroeville, but the Steel City Comic-Con, there's just vendor tables. It's a big room of vendor tables, and then there's a room of art tables and a room of all of that. So we didn't have like multiple rooms and it's just yo-yos. The Comic-Con is like Star Wars, comics, you know, pop culture, all that. It's a very much an amalgamation of things, and honestly, we could probably fit yo-yo in there somewhere. I don't know if it would be worth it. It may just be kind of a, we kind of take up too much space with our throwing metal things around, and it wouldn't work so well with guys trying to shuffle around getting at action figures. But I digress. You know, we try to set it up in a convention manner. This year we had 14 different vendors. It may have been too many vendors this year, but we had 14 different vendors this year, most of which were small yo-yo companies. And I didn't charge them an arm and a leg to set up a table there. Basically, that was, I mean, that's how we helped pay for the contest, to have the vendors come out, because I want everybody to come, try new yo-yos, buy new yo-yos, and that's sort of the give and take of the contest. I want you to come out and buy new yo-yos. To get a full 8-foot table, if you had enough yo-yos to fill an 8-foot table, or, you know, had a big enough display, that was 150 bucks. I'm pretty sure most people were gonna make that back. Half a table would have cost you $75. Wasn't skimming off the top or anything like that. Didn't charge anybody anything extra or any kind of tax or anything like that. You paid me for that so that I could pay the hotel, so that I could pay for the things that I had to pay for. And, you know, basically I wasn't paying for everybody to come play yo-yo. That's really the goal of a yo-yo contest, that you're not paying out of pocket so that you can have the yo-yo contest. So we had vendors come out. All of our sponsors were incredible, and it was great. I get to try new yo-yos, but everybody got to try new yo-yos. Everybody got to buy new yo-yos. It was great to see everybody as well, all those, you know, people I've talked to and built relationships with over the last couple of years. It was nice to, some of them, meet for the first time in person. It was great to see other faces again for second and third times, and it's really just like, that's a really good experience, and it feels really good for me and for everybody involved there. Everybody seemed to have a good time. But, you know, try to keep the cost of participation down. Just want people to come out, have a good time. You know, I have to charge a little bit because I'm getting charged for the room. I'm getting charged for, you know, I want to pay people out, plus I want to give away cash prizes. But at the same time, you know, I'm not trying to, like, you know, skim off the top or anything like that. So try to, like, just get people to come out and, you know, put a little towards the contest, and then hopefully make some back in the process by coming out and and selling your product, which is of course the point of having a yo-yo company, right? You want to come out, you want people to play the yo-yo, and you want people to buy the yo-yo. Like that's, we're doing a yo-yo. I'm doing a yo-yo with Rain City Skills. That's what I want. I want people to play the yo-yo. I want people to buy the yo-yo. I'm not looking to like make fat loads of cash to sell a yo-yo. I'm looking to have a yo-yo that I helped design and I help put colorways on, and I hope you guys dig it too. Like that's really the long and short of it. But anyway, contests can be a big part of that. The other thing that we do at East Coast Masters is it takes a lot of people, not just Kai and myself. Now, yes, Kai and I really, really work really hard on the contest portion. Kai sets up all of the contest part, meaning he picks the judges, he talks through with them how the rules are going to be, and he sets all of that stuff up. And he even got the host this year, which was Dan Dietz. Dan was incredible. So, huge shout out to Dan Dietz. He sat down with me and had an interview afterwards. Go watch that if you haven't, because it was good. It was a good time. I like Dan. Dan's a good dude. Anyway, so Kai sets up all of that, and I basically take care of the hotel and, you know, get that room set up, organized. I make sure the banner's put together. I make sure I have vendors and sponsors and all of that. I'm the one who does all of that stuff. I collect all the money. I pay the money. I'm the numbers guy in the money portion. That's basically what I do, like, most of my job. That's kind of my job anyway, so I'm pretty good at it. But so that's my portion of it. Kai sets up the contest part. I do the money vendor sponsor part, and it worked really well. Both Kai and I worked really hard this year, and I think it really showed, actually. The contest ran very smoothly, and it really worked really well. I had a good time. Everything went the way I wanted it to go. Let me put it that way. I don't know if anybody else has different opinions, but it went the way I wanted it to go. And since I put 3 months into it, I'm happy. But anyway, back to Yo-Yo Contest. So the other thing we do is we have judges and an MC, a host, which was Dan. And we had Ben Gates, who is the premier yo-yo videographer. I don't know if you know that. Ben Gates is, anytime you see somebody with an awesome freestyle on YouTube that is filmed amazingly, Ben Gates generally is the guy that filmed that. Ben's incredible. So we had all those guys come out. Kind of gonna pay for that a little bit. So judges each, actually I still owe those guys another 25 bucks each. So judges each got $100. Besides, Kai was the third judge. He gets part of any other proceeds. But anyway, so judges each got $100 for their day of work, and shout out to them for being just the nicest. Jake Bullock and Michael Schmecka are top-notch judges, awesome dudes, and they really know their stuff. So really, they earned every penny of it, honestly. Paid out the judges, and basically paid Dan Dietz, paid his plane ticket to come out. It was like $200. So paid Dan to come out as well, and happy to do it as well. Worth every penny to me. Dan did a fantastic job. Dan is so cool too. It was great to have Dan there, and I was happy to he came out, put in a long day's work for us. I was happy to pay him for it. And on top of that, then we got to pay the hotel, and I got to pay Ben Gates for his. He comes out with thousands of dollars of video equipment, sets it up the night before, videos all day, makes sure he runs a live stream, puts it all on YouTube. None of that's cheap. That's not cheap for him. That's not cheap for us. So, that gets paid for too. So, to run a contest right, it costs a lot of money. And, sometimes we go a little bit overboard with, other things. And, you got to pay for the banner, and you got to pay for all this other stuff. You got to pay the hotel. The hotel room, just the room to host the contest in, costs $500 for that day. It's clearly the best venue in Pittsburgh for a contest. That stage is perfect. The sound system's already set up. It's magnificent. But all that costs money. And, you put it all together, you put a lot of work into it, and you still pay out prizes and stuff for the main competitors, and that's what East Coast Masters is about. And I'm sorry I rambled for like 9 minutes on that. But East Coast Masters is a rather unique contest in that regard, in that it pays out judges, it pays out competitors, winners, in more than just, a couple yo-yos here, maybe a trophy. Not to say that yo-yos and or a trophy are bad. They are not. They're great. But it's rather disheartening to hear somebody talk about, you know, whether it was the National Yo-Yo Contest or the World Yo-Yo Contest, people going out to the World Yo-Yo Contest, winning second prize or winning first place or whatever, and not taking home a penny. No cash prizes in the at the World Yo-Yo Contest. You are the best yo-yo player in the world. You got a trophy, and you made less money than you would have made, you know, let's say, well, I guess Evan's from Honolulu, so it's expensive for Evan to fly here. But, you know, let's say, you know, hypothetically, let's say Gentry Stein comes here. I think he's in New York most of the time now. Let's say Gentry Stein comes here, wins East Coast Masters. He's going to walk out of here with $250 for, you know, an afternoon, 2-minute work, and some cool yo-yos that he probably doesn't have because they're not shutters. And that's going to be that. Now, if he goes and flies to Prague and wins the World Yo-Yo Contest, he's out a plane ticket to Prague. I mean, clearly it's cool to go to Prague, and, like, I know Gentry Stein makes yo-yo money, but to be able to, like, go to a contest that you work really hard for all year. It's like, you know, I yo-yo a lot. I'm nowhere near on the level, nor do I yo-yo anywhere long enough to be able to compete with these guys, with, you know, guys like Gentry or Kieran or Evan or, you know, the guys that are consistently taking top spots in contests everywhere. And they're not making a penny to do that. I mean, even the winner of the Super Bowl, you know, winner of the Super Bowl makes money. Winner of the World Series makes extra money. Winner of the Stanley Cup makes extra money. I'm not saying that yo-yo is a World Series or a Super Bowl or anything like that, but National Yo-Yo Contest and the World Yo-Yo Contest in particular, last year Mountain Dew basically paid for the whole thing, plus there were people who just sent thousands and thousands of dollars on top of that to be sponsors and not even vend at the World Yo-Yo Contest. So there are people that wrote $2,000 checks, did not go to the contest, or went to the contest but didn't, like, vend or didn't make any money back, and they were just a name on a banner. Something's wrong with that. That's a problem. That's problematic. You know, if I can do it 2 years in a row, a little contest in Pittsburgh, me, just some dude making YouTube videos in his office, and Kaizizan, a guy who is a legitimately freaking amazing yo-yo player and knows a lot about yo-yo. I mean, I'm lucky to have. This wouldn't work if it wasn't the two of us. It just wouldn't. But I'm just saying, if the two of us can put something like that together, where, you know, we're keeping the cost of vend down, we're keeping the, you know, we're making sure people are getting paid, and we're making sure that winners are winning cash in addition to whatever yo-yo prizes they may be getting. The World Yo-Yo Contest needs to be able to do that. The National Yo-Yo Contest needs to be able to do that. There's no excuse for that not being the way. I can do it. If I can do it on the level that I have, I am nowhere near the World Yo-Yo Contest or National Yo-Yo Contest. Not even close. If I can do it, they can do it. And they can do it bigger and better than me. Because clearly they put on a bigger contest. Well, they got a lot more money coming into that contest, and none of it's coming out. Hell, for Nationals last year, we bought $30 tickets. Me and Brett and Katie and their niece. We went to Nationals. We were there, you know, for the 2 days that it was there. But we bought tickets to go. Now, that may have all gone to the venue. They may have, you know, had to say, well, you have to sell the tickets or whatever. But still, if I'm buying tickets to the venue, clearly there's some kind of, like, that's got to pay for the venue, right? Like, just the ticket sales alone as a spectator, that's something. And I went, and it was in Chicago, so that was just me. My name wasn't on a banner or anything like that. I went as a fan to that. And I know the people who vended there spent thousands of dollars to vend. There were 3 vendors there. There was Yo-Yo Expert, Boutique Yo-Yo Collective, and Duncan Toys. That was it. Those were the 3 vendors that were there. And they were not even inside the room in which the contest was happening. So you had to decide, do I want to buy yo-yos or do I want to watch the contest? It was a cutoff thing. And I know that probably hurts some vendor sales a little bit because people go and they buy the ticket to watch the contest. So what I'm saying is, you know, little contests I think do it well. There's a lot of good little contests, and you know, even regional contests, a lot of those are very good, and some of them hand out money, and I think that's really where the heart and soul of yo-yo is, in those contests. But I think there really needs to be a push at the player level, and at the sponsor level, and at the just the company level, to push to the to just, you know, the national yo-yo board, the National Yo-Yo League, to push to them to say, hey, what you guys are doing now is kind of starting to be BS. You really need to look into what you're doing and make sure there's more vendors, and make sure that those vendors are taken care of, and make sure that the winners of these contests, the guys that practice, you know, that's their job, basically, practice 8 hours a day to win the World Yo-Yo Contest, are taken care of financially after the fact. I know they're sponsored, and a lot of times their sponsors will help pay for things, especially if there's a chance they're going to win the National Yo-Yo Contest, but where is the sort of help from the league? Why does the money sit at the top with the league? All I'm saying is, if I can do it, if I can pay the judges, if I can pay for the hotel, if I can pay the players, if I can pay the videographer, if I can pay, you know, the host, the MC, if I can pay for him, on the smaller scale level, 150 people is what we had at East Coast Masters both years. You know, I'd say that's a pretty good turnout. We're actually probably a not terribly small contest, now that I think about it out loud. But if I can do it, then the National Yo-Yo League can do it. There's a lot more of them. There's a lot more money getting flown around there. And there's a lot bigger prizes and prestige at stake. Just something that needs to happen on that national level. And you're going to hear me talking about it, but I think that it needs to also come from you guys as well. It needs to come from the company level. It needs to come from the ground up, from the player level, to say, hey, you want us to come out here and compete and pay to compete and all that stuff. It's great. It's fun. We love that. But we're running people out of yo-yo, because if you look back at competitors who've won the world contest and whatever, a lot of times they just, that's it. Well, I won the World Yo-Yo Contest. That costs a lot of money. I'm not going to ever do that again. That's it. Let's go back to playing yo-yo in their rooms. You know, they're on a team. They make a video every now and then. Maybe they show up at a local contest or so. But we lose them. And that happens far too often, and I think it's time for the National Yo-Yo League to step up and correct that. So, sorry this video went on a little long, but tell me what you guys think down in the comments. I appreciate everybody watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.